Hello, 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 beautiful people. How are you today? Here comes another episode of Relax and Raunchy Relationship Podcast with me, Ingrid Galloway, with my beautiful guest. Her name is Andrea Miller, and she is a certified date coach and matchmaker. She's also the founder of Go Getter, the dating app for healthy relationships. And she is also one of my beautiful clients, from the thousand of clients I have. And also, she will be one of the guest speakers from my upcoming virtual and in-person retreats. She's originally from New York, moved to Australia 10 years ago, and now splits her time between California and Sydney. She worked in advertising for 12 years before she shifted her focus to what she does now, which is help people find love. Welcome, Andrea.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I love chatting with you always. You know that.
Yes, I know.
We could talk about love all day long. So
isn't love wonderful?
it is. So yes, this is very exciting, and thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Cool. I'd love to introduce you to my audience if that's okay.
Yes, thank you.
Ingrid Galloway is the founder, relationship coach, and chief relaxation officer of KAHYANGAN, which actually means heaven. It's a wellness clinic in some years, mainly in those, 5-star kind of hotel day spas. She's also used to looking after thousands of highly stressed clients all over the world. So thank goodness for you, because, I didn't even think I was stressed until I realized I was stressed. And I thought, wow, I'm stressed all the time. So thank you for that. But she practices KAHYANGAN and from clients' homes, offices, and hotel rooms, and even online, which is great nowadays, obviously, because you can't do it online. It's quite tough. Her work is always focused on stress, relaxation, and relationships. She does one-on-one coaching sessions, group workshops, and soon virtual and in-person retreats for the broken-hearted singles and loving couples. Yay! How good are you?
Looking forward to that, definitely.
Yes, that'll be fun.
Andrea, first question. Why do you do what you do?
Why? I love the why. If you just really, I thought if I step back and go, why do I do it? It's rewarding. It's really rewarding to help people in an area that they all want. And we all want love. We all want to be in love. We all want to feel love. We want it to be a part of our lives. Everybody wants it, and wants to kind of attain the best love they can. So it's really, really rewarding to be able to help people in that specific area. And what about you? Why do you do it?
Well, because I had, a 10-year abusive marriage, my first one. I got out of it after 3 attempts. And then after that, I went on my self-healing journey, went to several seminars, seeing a couple of therapists, went back to college to study counseling and life coaching. And straight away, I knew that I would be a coach and my niche will be in relationship, because I am compassionate and passionate to help people that's in a similar sort of predicament with me back then.
Yeah, I think we all try to help people in the area that we, are passionate in, and it's a funny story. My mom, apparently when I was young, my parents divorced when I was 11, and apparently I was in the post office and I walked up to a guy and said, "Would you date my mom?"
Oh, so cute.
Something tells me that this was kind of meant to be, or it was going to happen anyway, because I find myself later in life just meeting great people and being like, "So are you single?" I have no question of saying, "Are you single?"
Yeah.
Can I introduce you to so-and-so? And that was just because I wanted to, because I really like bringing good people together.
Yeah. So there you go. The telltale that you will be a, matchmaker or a date coach.
They say you'll just know, or they say, it's already written.
Awesome, that's great. So I'm curious to hear more from you, 3 tips on looking for love, because a lot of singles out there, they don't know what to do, what to look out for. So please tell us.
Yeah, I think this comes back to your story, where in the sense of, I kind of hit my late 30s and I just really didn't know what I was doing. Like I thought I had it all figured out, and I thought, why isn't love just happening for me? But it wasn't. And I really wanted to figure out why. And as I started to figure out why, I started to realize how much I played a role in my outcome or in me finding love. It wasn't just about, okay, I've got this perfect life and now I just need to find somebody, or someone needs to fit into my perfect life.
Yes.
Of course, that's what I thought. I thought, sure, that's super easy. It happens in the movies. I've been told it'll just happen. So of course I'm going to believe that it would be that easy. But it wasn't. And that got me really concerned. So I think off the back of that, I really started to dig deep and realize, I do want to be with somebody. Why is this not happening? How can I make it happen? And a lot of the changes I realized in order for that to happen had to come from me. It wasn't about changing another guy. It wasn't about changing anything in the outside. It was all the lens that I was looking through, which was fascinating to me, because I've always been told, like, do these certain things and dress a certain way or play it off a certain way, or, be really funny or be really confident, but it just never was going the long distance. I would get a lot of attention and I have a lot of fun, but I wouldn't get someone who wanted to stick around. And that's really what I ultimately wanted. So I have 3 tips that I'd love to share that I think are worth remembering.
Yep.
And I came up with this one recently, but I really like it. It's about remembering that I think dating, and this is just, my own opinion, but I think it makes sense.
Yep.
Dating, I believe, is 90% about you and 10% about them. And people go, no way. Like, I had a girlfriend go, no way, it's impossible. I go, well, think about it. You meet somebody out in the street and you decide if they're good looking and you want to continue further. You decide if they're worthy of you. You decide if they're worth pursuing. You decide all these things based on how you feel about them. But take the same person and all of a sudden, instead of looking them as not attractive, you go, oh, actually, he's really cute. Now all of a sudden he's a possibility. You just turned a non-possibility into a possibility just from how you viewed it. So this is where I say, if you can really focus on where your views are coming from, where your perspective is coming from, where you're finding like you're always hitting a wall, where you're finding that, hey, I'm not meeting the right kind of people and they're just not out there. No, they're out there. You're just not seeing them. So why am I not seeing them? Let's work on that. Or, I can never get past the first date. Okay, well then let's look about what you're doing on the date. Let's not always look about, oh, he did this, because you can't change anybody.
Yeah.
But you can change yourself. So all these areas where if something's going wrong, it doesn't do any good to blame them or say they did this. It's just, what can I do? Or what do I really want? Think about what you really want. I get a ton of people say, oh, I really want love. But when it comes down to it, they're not willing to do the things that will enable them to get it. They'll still keep partying the same way and they won't call somebody back, or they won't, oh, but if he didn't do this, it's never going to work. Well, if you think that way, then it's never going to work. So,
that's why I say to singles, well, rather than jumping from one relationship to another relationship, which is on the statistic. I mean, fair enough, like 60% of couples newly married divorce after a couple of years. They're newbies, they don't have the experience before. Okay, fair enough, 60% divorce. But then, 30% out of the second, the third, the fourth round get divorced as well. Meaning what? You haven't pause for a moment, learn the lessons from the past, and then you start again. That's why it becomes the statistic of, the second, third, fourth time, fifth time around, just keep repeating itself.
Yeah, and that's where people could probably say, oh, well, it must just be me, or, I guess I'm just not lucky in love. It's like, no, you're just not taking the time to figure out what you're doing, So, and that's why I'm so passionate about date coaching, because I feel like I can try to make an impact, up front, to try to kind of set you up for success. It really does start early on. It's who you choose. It's how you're dating. It's the things you're doing. It's the way you're treating yourself. All those things matter. And if those aren't kind of set in the right way, it's almost like, think about it like a chiropractor. This is, if your body's not in line and everything's not kind of in its place, you're going to eventually have faults in different areas, because it's going to start to break down. But if you can kind of get it as best you can, then you can kind of set it up for success. I'm not saying everything's perfect. It's not that. It's more just, you're in alignment with what works for you. So
love it. Alignment, very important.
So that's my first one. Dating is 90% about you and 10% about them. If people kind of keep coming back to that, they'll focus more on what they're doing versus trying to change the outside. The other one is very similar, but if you just remember it is, I believe that the only thing that's going to hold you back from love is you. It's really like confronting for a lot of people. They go, but a lot of people still go, yeah, that makes sense. They know it. They know that they're doing things that they could be doing better or they shouldn't be doing, you know. And
can you give one example?
So, you know, they're waiting for themselves to lose 10 pounds before they meet somebody.
Okay.
You know, oh, I have to lose, I can't date yet because I'm not ready because I have to lose 10 pounds.
Right.
Well, that's not true. You can date someone right now and they should love you whether you're 10 pounds heavier or 10 pounds lighter. That's on you. That's not on them. Yeah. So little things like that in terms of just when I hear people talk and the excuses they make for maybe why they're not going out that night or why they're not doing this, it's just because of their own fears or maybe feeling rejected, but they're making an excuse as to why they're not dating. So again, in those instances, you're just holding yourself back. And I'm kind of trying to go, don't do that. You know, go out there, have fun. It's going to be exciting. Yeah, it's going to be scary, but it's going to be exciting. And the reward is so much more worth the risk. So that's, yeah. So it's kind of like just being aware of those times that you're holding yourself back when you probably don't need to, you know? So that's my tip number 2. The only thing that's going to hold you back from love is you. And my last one is, again, I know I have a bit of a theme here in terms of how much we can control, but
yeah,
this was what I learned in my kind of journey from going from late 30s to now engaged by late 30s, which is great. I had to make a big shift, but I really pushed hard. So I'm super thankful for that. And I've learned a lot, and that's why I love to share it.
Yeah.
But the other person is not meant to complete you. And I totally thought like in the other half, and this person's going to make me feel so amazing. And once I have this, things will be so much better. It really, it's nice in theory, but it really doesn't work that way. And it shouldn't. And because that way, let's say all of a sudden this person makes you laugh and he brings you happiness. What if all of a sudden he leaves the next day? Because you can't control that. Then you're going to be really down and really hurt that he left, because you were putting almost that, you were putting that on him to make you happy. Don't put that on anybody else. You know, you can make yourself
expectation.
happy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the expectation. So the more you put on someone else, the more you're kind of putting outside your control, and the more almost vulnerable you're making yourself. And not vulnerable in the good way, vulnerable in the like, you know, you could potentially be let down. You know, people need to realize that they are so amazing as they are. And you really want to meet someone who's going to walk alongside you, and you're both going to bring amazing things to the table. And that's the kind of person you're going to attract. So if you believe that someone is going to complete you, then they're probably wanting you to complete them. And that's just a recipe for not healthy relationships. So it's all about just being in your groove, being proud of who you are, everything, warts and all, and then finding someone who you can accept for the same. So those are my 3 tips.
Oh, amazing. Love it. Because I remember my ex-husband, from the beginning, he said, well, Ingrid, if you want to move to Australia, you need to change. So, well, being young and naive at the age of 21, I didn't see that as a red flag. Also, from the very beginning, he wanted to change me already. So he's not willing to accept me for who I was. Whereby this husband, a second husband, hopefully forever husband, he accepts me for who I am. He's not trying to change me, apart from probably doing a little bit more exercise.
And that's where you're like, okay, that's not the worst thing that you want out of me. Okay.
Yeah. Wonderful.
We have to see that as he's not trying to change me. He's trying to just make me be the best version of me. Maybe that type. It's all how you view it, you know?
100%.
Great. For that. So no worries. So those are my dating tips, and, you know, good at the start, but you are the relationship expert. So if you wouldn't mind sharing some tips, 3 tips on relationships, that would be because getting into a relationship isn't the end all be all. It's keeping the relationship, right?
That's right. But my tips today will be for singles, you know, because obviously people will be watching on our podcast today, and particularly, and I'm hoping a lot of singles will be watching this. Number 1 will be acknowledging your partner's stress, fears, and aspirations and goals instead of pointing and blaming. Now, I understand that you are single, all right? So imagine that you are sitting across the table and be curious and ask yourself, what are the things that you are stressed about? What fears So acknowledge those, right? And close with 3 goals that simply lit your eyes up. So you start with the low energy, you know, about acknowledging the stresses, acknowledging the fears. You mentioned about fears before, and then you finish up with high energy. Okay. So tip number 1, acknowledging the stress, fears, and goals.
I like your curious word. I use that one a lot. If people are just curious about people, it really takes the focus off yourself and it puts it on them to get to know that other person. So I like that word.
Yeah, because we want to ask more questions, and it's not just like stop with one question and like that's
yeah. Tennis match, back and forth.
Oh yeah, lovely. And tip number 2, typically I advise couple to exercise together. All right. Well, you're single, no partner, no worries. You can do it yourself. So instead of walking to the fridge over and over again, we know what you're doing, emotional eating. Walk around the block, or maybe walk to the bay, walk to the beach, to the lake. I don't know. Choose your beautiful, relaxing, wonderful piece of nature and get your zen and move your body so you don't feel, you know, so stuck and so depressed and so anxious. Move your body, and then you can regulate your emotion that way.
Yeah, I love that. That's an amazing tip. The body's meant to move, and like you said, I thought you're gonna feel better, but hey, you never know who you're gonna meet on that walk.
Who knows? If you never get out of the house and keep going,
that's right.
You may not meet that new person. And then tip number 3 will be deep and meaningful lovemaking. Oh, single, no partner, no worries. Because of what? You can self-pleasure. Bring back that endorphin, dopamine, oxytocin to your senses. You know, bring back your feel-good and happy hormones. You know, no partner, no worries. Right now, you can do it yourself.
I love that. Absolutely. Like you said, just keep the energy high. That's really what it's about. Whatever makes you happy, you know, we can bring ourselves down very easily, but we can also alternatively bring ourselves up really easily. And, you know, that's one way to do it. I love it.
Yeah, it's about choice. It's about choice. You have the power to choose whether you want to keep down in the dumps or get up.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love your tips.
Thank you. Great. So now, people, we're on to the fun facts. So Andrea gave me 2 statements. Yeah, let's guess which one is true, which one is false. Number 1, I surfed 11 feet surf on a life-size Havaiana pong. Number 2,
those big blow-up type things, just so people know what it is.
Number 2, I had 10 cows charge at me. Which one? I will say, because you're naturally crazy, I'll say number 1. You surf on this huge thong.
You are correct. You are correct. I know. It was an epic day. It was, I love nothing more. You know, people will go out on big waves and surf and stand up and surf. Yep. I just put myself on this big blow up raft and I literally just go over the surf. And because I have a soft, you know, landing, I just go right over it and I ride it all the way in. And it was absolutely amazing. So another thing about that comment is I did have cows charge me. However, it was 15 cows, not 10. And that's why it was false.
Oh my God. What did you do when the cows charged you?
Well, thankfully, they kind of ran out of the way. They kind of dodged me because they don't want me, but they definitely were coming at me, saw me, and then went around me. And I just kind of had to stand there, but they were coming at me and it was quite frightening. And I thought, oh. So I partially jumped to the side, but I partially stood there because I was trying to stop them, but they went around me and I went, oh no. But all was okay.
Because it could be deadly.
Oh. It could have been. Yeah. I mean, apparently they're friendly, but at the time I didn't know, and that's why I freaked out, and I was ready to move. I wasn't going to stop them, so it was not funny at the time, but looking back, a great learning experience.
Yay, you are safe.
All right, well, I am so excited to hear about your statements. Okay, statement number 1. Ingrid's client's wife thought that her husband cheated on her on a weekly basis. Ooh. That's Ingrid's client's wife. Second statement, similar. Ingrid's sister thought that her husband cheated on her on a weekly basis. Ooh. Ooh.
One.
I know which one's true, which one's false. I'm gonna go with number 2, only because it makes it more personal and that's more interesting. But I'm gonna go with number 2.
Okay, you are incorrect.
Oh no!
Oh.
Oh wow.
The reason why it's incorrect because I am the only child, so I don't
Oh.
even have a sister.
There you go. See, that's all right. That makes sense. See, we do these little things where we kind of still have it.
And so, let me tell you the
Like
funny
it's
story.
So tell us the
Tell you
story.
the funny story about number 1 is
Yeah.
pre-COVID, I used to come to this company on a weekly basis. So every Tuesday, I come to massage this bunch of software engineers for 20 minutes each. And then, as you know, I like my aromatherapy spray. I blend my own essential oil, hand lotion or whatnot, and I massage them, all right? So when they come home, this particular wife sniff, and was like, oh, he smells funny. What's going on? Not until I invited them, we become friends now, not until I invited them to have dinner at our place. Then she told this story. It's like, well, a funny story that I thought that he's cheating on someone and it's apparently you. Yeah, I've been massaging your husband in the office every week.
Oh my goodness, that's really funny. That's really funny. I can see how that would happen though, because those oils smell lovely. And yeah, no, that's great. Oh, that's great. I'm glad she told you and you guys were able to be friends about it.
Yes. No, it's all good. We all laugh about it. Now, Andrea, last question. What do you do to either relax or add raunchiness into your relationship?
Oh, I actually really enjoyed this question. So I think this is also due to COVID. The thing I do with my fiance that helps us relax is go out to dinner.
Yeah.
Just I'm almost just date night almost every night if we can. And this became so apparent when we had to cook a lot more during COVID because we couldn't go out to restaurants. But I realized that time is really valuable because nobody's cooking, nobody's by their phones. We're sitting and talking. We have 2 hours, usually enjoy a nice glass of wine. But when you took that away from us, we kind of just kept working and didn't have that stop. Whereas when we go out to dinner, it's like, okay, we have a reservation at 6:30, so we got to finish up. We need to go out. And then we usually sit at dinner for about 2 hours, catch up on our stuff, have a few questions, be in a nice environment. It was already, we choose nice restaurants where it has a nice ambiance.
Yes.
So we didn't have to work so hard to create the mood and make that shift. We just kind of drew that line of, okay, now we go out to dinner. So I really, really, really enjoy that for us and our relationship. Otherwise, we don't really stop very well. We're two go-getters. So we go. And as far as raunchiness, I mean, there's plenty there, of course, because I'm a fun person, but I've always loved just dressing sexy. Like I know a lot of people don't like doing that, or, there's just always a time, I don't know. I've always worn tight clothing. I've always just, worn things that are a little bit more racy just because it's fun and I can, and why not? So, I assume he likes it, but I guess I kind of do it more for me. But, I figured if that's the net effect, that he's like, hello, because it does.
Oh, don't worry. I heard him whistle.
nice to get compliments. So, we just do our little things to get some attention. But that's kind of the fun part is, always trying to keep that mood up if I can, or create it. And that's how I do it.
Yeah. Oh,
what about you? What do you do to add relaxation and raunchiness in your relationship? I'm super curious to know.
To relax, well, occasionally I call my massage therapist to give us massage in my treatment room.
Very cool.
Yeah, on date nights we do various things, but what I love most definitely when I call my colleagues to come and massage me, hey, can you massage me and my husband? So that's nice to relax because like yourself and Sam, we both are go-getters, so we work.
Yeah.
And to add raunchiness, then what do we do in terms of dressing? Yes, sometimes I just let everything hangs out. So sometimes not even dress sexy, but it's just just free flow. This is my home. I can wear nothing.
That's right. You You can, and he can enjoy that. I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
They're very easy like that and very simple. They love that.
Yeah, very
You
simple.
think, oh, no big deal, but they're like, yeah, awesome.
Right, so beautiful people, thank you so much for watching this podcast, for watching our collaboration. I hope you enjoy that, and don't forget that next week we have another beautiful, awesome new guest to the podcast, and we will discuss more fun stories and more tips for your benefits. Right, so Andrea, if people want to get in touch with you and get more tips, or maybe they need to date, so how can they connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the way I see it, because I'm a, dating app entrepreneur, but also a coach and a matchmaker. So, if you're looking on that date coaching side, just go to howtodate.com, reach out to me, send me an email, howtodate.com. And that way I can help to, obviously coach you to success, or I can help find you a match. But if you're looking to do it yourself, like I said, I have the Go Getter dating app. If you're someone who really likes to get out there and make the most of every day, just download it. Go to the App Store or the Google Play Store, download it. It's free right now to sign up, and just go see who you meet. Start meeting some good people and give it a go.
Brilliant. I will definitely put the link up on the post when we air this. And if people would like to get more relationship tips from me, they can connect with me. Go to my website, www.kahyangan.com.au, and request a free chat with me. So that's KAHYANGAN, kahyangan.com.au. Yay.
Oh,
So thank you so much, Andrea, for coming, and I will see you very, very soon.
That's good. Thank you so much for having me. I loved it.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks, Ellie.
Bye.